Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It is January 31st, it's a Friday, and it's 6:50 a.m. Currently probably 28 degrees. It's daybreak, sun's just starting to come up, and we're actually up this morning pretty early compared to the last couple weekends. We're going to be going to a lake I was at last Sunday. Did pretty well for panfish and caught some smaller pike, but hopefully we can get on some bigger pike, maybe some bass, maybe some walleye, and hopefully we can catch some nice bluegill and sunfish. That was the main catch last Sunday, was bluegill and sunfish. So one goal today would be to catch a crappie. Would like to really find some crappie. Last weekend I was out there Sunday and I did see some crappie with the underwater camera, but didn't catch any. We're just fishing in these big weed beds in roughly 10 to 13 feet of water. So seemed to be the ticket for last weekend, but we're gonna try to work our way deeper into this hole, and maybe we can get on some crappie. So we'll see you guys out there. Stay tuned. Alright guys, it's 7:15. I marked a spot from last weekend, so we're within probably 10 yards of the spot. Kind of pop some tip-ups out this way, put two in first and then start jigging. But it's a beautiful morning out. It's going to be a really nice day. Just it's going to be cloudy all day. I think temperatures are supposed to get up to the low 30s. It's probably mid 20s right now, but just beautiful. Friday up in the Northwoods, and we got the whole lake to ourselves. We're gonna start drilling some holes. Crazy how much ice there is this year compared to last year. I don't think we ever had this much ice last year. I think I measured 16, 17 inches a couple weekends ago, and there's probably more than that now. All right, 2 holes for the tip-ups. All right, so we're gonna be running the Beaver Dam tip-ups today. I always run these bad boys. Best tip-ups in the game. Got some pretty old ones here, but they are perfect and still work perfectly. See how deep of water we're in here. My guess is somewhere between 10 and 15 feet. Kind of what we were fishing last weekend. Last weekend we had 5 flags, and we had 5 northern. And it looks like we're in 12 feet of water. Right in those weeds again. Perfect. Grab a hole cover. My go-to minnows for tip-ups are always medium shiners. Hook them right in the back. Right in front of that top pin. I gotta clean this hole out. getting a little ahead of myself. Pretty excited this morning. This is the earliest I've been out on the water in Wisconsin this year. Usually I've been kind of slacking to get up. Not this morning though. Usually works better when you don't put the minnow in first. Last weekend I actually caught a pike off camera as I was putting the tip up down. I didn't even get the flag set and it starts spinning and we catch a little northern pike before I can even set the flag. Alright, I'll probably put this guy a foot or two off bottom. That's what I like running all these tips at. Got about a 2 foot, probably 20, I think it's 25-pound leader. This is a bigger minnow on here, so hopefully we can catch a bigger fish. Last weekend was just a lot of small pike. Nothing I could fillet up. I'm really not a big fan of running sinkers with these medium shiners just because the minnow and with the swivel it gets down to the bottom somewhat fast. If the minnow doesn't swim stupidly, which it is now, there it goes. But if I'm using like crappie minnows, then I'll put a sinker on, but I usually like to try to avoid all that extra stuff. Don't use any bobbers really, which I don't know, a lot of people do, but I never have. There it goes. Alright, that is one tip up in. We'll get the other one in and start jigging. Alright guys, we are going to put our second tip up in here. One thing I want to talk about is this awesome bag that Striker makes. I got currently 6 rods in here and 9 tip ups, and all my tackle, my extra line and stuff, everything fits in here, and it's just perfect. Brought it to North Dakota this year, and it was really just perfect, especially for traveling, but just in general. I mean, it gets rid of all those pails and everything that your tip ups are in, but I mean, it's just crazy big. I mean, I had 9 tip ups in there, and it's made technically for 5 rods, but I fit 6 in here. So just an awesome bag. We're gonna put this tip up in. Well guys, just drilling my first hole of jigging, and that second tip up we put in just went up. Not a bad start. And this one was in 14 feet of water. Currently don't see it spinning. Maybe a walleye? Oh, it's turning, slow turn. That's a good sign. Hopefully it's not a northern. That feels pretty small. A lot of head shakes. And it's a small northern. Put a bigger minnow on there, hoping to get something a little bigger, and nope. Man, he was pinned. Well, I will take it. It's always fun seeing a flag go up. Definitely not the size we're looking for, but it seems to be the common theme on this lake so far. So hopefully we can get to a couple of bigger ones. We're cleaning out this first hole, and we're already marking some fish down there. There's actually a couple good marks. Drilled like 4 holes. Gonna kind of hole hop here. There's a bunch of weeds down there. Last weekend we were using wax worms, and this small red little jig with some fuzz on it seemed to be doing the trick. So that's what we're going to start with. Got my St. Croix rod. Love it. But let's get down there and see if we can start catching some of these fish. Just with the wax worm. Last weekend it seemed the presentation was just a single wax worm. You know, kind of the more smaller the wax worm, it seemed to be the better they would bite. But let's get down there. There is some fish. We're just fishing in some weeds. There's quite a few weeds in this lake, which I think is one of the reasons why the pan fishing is so good. Oh yeah, they're coming for it already. There we go. Little guy. Hopefully they get a little bigger than that, but that's a nice start. First fish, or second fish, first fish jigging. We are moving. We are really gonna stay mobile today and try to find these fish. Really get on a good school or something. I think we'll find them. Don't know how long it'll take, but we'll find them. He was fighting pretty hard. Not the size I want. They were like an inch or two bigger. Hey, that's the biggest one. And we're gonna keep them. Not a bad one. That's the biggest one of the day. Kind of borderline, but we're gonna keep them. Kept quite a few like that last weekend, so get a nice play out of them. That's a good fish. That's a keeper. Absolutely choke that jig. Can't even see it. Freaking, it's down there. That was a big mark. "17 feet of water." We got two of them for this hole now. We're well over 150 yards away from where we started this morning. Basically moved across this whole lake. And we're getting on a few, but kind of started off in like 13 feet of water, got down to 17, came back up a little bit into like 15 feet of water. Now we dived back down 17 feet. I do think we're close to a weed bed. I bet you if we go over here somewhere, I bet you there's some weeds out there. What do we got here? Perch. He's little, but he's kind of chunky. All right, we're moving. Caught 2 here. It was productive, but it kind of died off, and there's not many of them down there. Onward. There's a lot of fish down there. That one hardly fought. There's got to be some bigger ones. That's a good fish. No idea what we have. A lot of head shakes. A little northern. That was fun. Really didn't take him long to get up. Right at the corner of the mouth. Or not the corner, right at the top. Barely hooked. Perfect spot to hook one when you're fighting them on the jig like this. 4-pound test. It's a little bigger than that first northern we caught on a tip up. I just moved back and over by my tip ups. Kind of died down on that other side, so I wanted to try around my tip ups. Not a panfish, but a fun fight. Well, we just did a big move. We're in 12 feet of water, which looks like this might be a decent spot. Left my tip ups where they were. Checked them, jigged around there for a little bit, and I actually ended up catching a pike. But we are gonna drop down here with the underwater camera and see what it's like down there. I'm guessing weeds. Hopefully weeds. Looks like there's fish down there already. Possibly. Yeah, there's fish. Quite a few. Quite a few. Well, there was at least until I stirred up the bottom. Not many weeds, but it looks like there's some old weeds. Yeah, I don't see any fish anymore, but... Oh, there we go. There's quite a few in the distance, actually. Yeah, there's one right there. Looks to be like a nice sized one, actually. We're gonna drop down there with the jig. Hopefully we can get these guys. We are staying real mobile today, as you guys can tell and have heard. I mean, there's a lot of panfish in this lake. I caught well over 20, probably closer to 30, but just no size really. Got 2 keepers so far. We've been out here for almost 3 hours, but we've been catching fish the whole time, just not the right size. As long as we're catching fish, that's what matters. There's a lot of fish down there. There we go. First fish, new area. And it's small. Hopefully there's bigger ones to follow. It's got some weight to it. Still small. Moved holes and we're in a little deeper water, and there's a lot of fish down there. A crap ton of fish. They're biting light. There we go. That's a good fish. Yep, that's a keeper. Well, that's a third keeper, and it's probably been a couple hours now since I've caught a decent one. That one's a borderline one, but I am keeping them. Hopefully there's some more down there like that. That's another good one. This might be the biggest of the day. It's a borderline one. We'll throw him back. That's a good one. Never mind. Oh yeah. That's a keeper. Number 2 from this hole. That's a good one. Stay on. Oh yeah. Three from this hole, and there's a crap ton more down there. That's a nice fish. Oh yeah. It's one of the nicer ones. They're literally suspended in 7 feet of water. That one was. I had a bunch of ice on my eyelet and I was kind of messing around with it, so it caused my line to go way up in the water column, and that fish just freaking beeline for it and followed it straight up. We're on something now. Took a little bit to find them, but I think this is the spot where we're going to catch a lot of them today. Oh, that was a great one. That one was really good. Small. These fish are so aggressive. Every drop down now. There's still so many down there. That's another decent one. There we go. Another nice one. Bigger fish seem to be suspended. We are putting on a clinic here, or at least starting to. There's quite a few from this hole. Should really set up the shack. There's a nice one.
No perch, right?
No, no perch. Alright guys, we are in the shack. I caught quite a few keepers in this hole and we set up over it. We're gonna drop back down and we're marking them already. Just all over. There's a crap ton of fish down there. There we go. Another keeper. There we go. That's a nice one. It's like my third one in here. That's a keeper. So we caught every fish in here. That's a keeper. There we go. That one's borderline. We'll keep him. That's a good one. Oh yeah. Yeah, I just got a nice one. Well guys, right now we have 16 in the bucket. Caught 14 from this single hole. Thinking about moving my tip ups here soon. I'm bringing them over here. They're about 100 yards away right now. We're still marking a decent amount of fish. Definitely seems to be slowing down a little bit. But there's still a few down there. Alright guys, just moved my tip ups to my shack where we're catching all these panfish. Putting my second one in and this first one went off. I don't see it spinning. No! Fish. The fish! Like a northern. Third northern today. And the biggest fish of the day. That's a nice one. They bite. Okay. Curious how long that is. Alright guys, we moved all of our tip ups over here. And as soon as we did that, we had caught one northern. But we're back in the shack. Key today has been the red jig. Sun's out and the bite really has seemed to die off. Just moved out of the shack because I'm not getting anything in there anymore. Some fish down there. Coming for it right now. Yep.
I had one that was good 16, 17 inches long.
Really?
How much water is it?
Come on, I forgot my pliers. There we go. Fourth northern. It's an absolute dink. Wow. There's a lot of fish down there and they're biting light. That's a good one. Almost went back in my leg. Oh, we got a flag. Ah. Spinning. Nicer northern, not big, not too big. We are going to keep that guy. Yeah. Keeper.
There's some.
Yeah. That's a good one. Real nice one. Yeah. Another good one. One more fish and we got our limit, guys. Took us a little bit to find them, but when we got them fast and we caught a lot. That's 25. Well guys, it's just after 1 and we got our limit. Fun day. Alright guys, we are going to put our third tip up in, all limited out with bluegill and sunfish. Bite was pretty slow to start. We had to move around to find them, but once we got to the one spot, we were catching them pretty non-stop. Caught like 14 in one hole, and then I kind of just moved around that area in probably a 50-foot radius and just kept catching them. I think I caught majority of them in 3 holes. So awesome day so far. Got a couple pike. I've kept one so far. A lot of small ones in here. The one I kept was only like 20 inches, but it seems like there's a lot of small ones in here, so Gonna try to help some of these panfish out and keep some of these smaller guys. So hopefully flags start flying. Stay tuned. Well guys, it's been pretty slow. Wind's picking up and the tip action hasn't been good. Got whatever it is. Feels decent. Decent northern. Haha. Well guys, that's a 20-inch northern. We're gonna keep him. Just as I got that one up on the ice, had another flag go off. Alright guys, tip action has been really slow, and we just had a flag go off and we got that 20-inch northern that we're going to keep. There's a lot of small northern in this lake, and we're going to try to keep a couple. It almost seems like they're stunted, or either way, we're just going to try to help out these panfish. A bunch of panfish in here, but also a lot of small northern. They eat a lot of fish, so we're going to keep some. And then as soon as I got that fish on the ice, another one popped, and my GoPro's acting all weird, and there was nothing on that, just a bigger treble hook. So hopefully it continues. Maybe we get a walleye or two later in the evening, so stay tuned. All right guys, we just got off the ice. We're back at the cabin, and we're gonna show you guys the fish here in a little bit, but I ended up limiting out at like 1:15, got out there at 7:15. Took me a little bit to get on the fish. I basically crossed the whole lake with nothing, and then I went even further back away from the landing, and ended up getting on a bunch of fish in 10 to 13 feet of water, just one after another. I basically limited out in 3 holes within like a 50-foot radius. Just a great day. Ended up catching 4 keeper northern. Had my sister's boyfriend come out, and he ended up catching 2 decent northern. A lot of small ones, so he kept 4 northern. I caught 2, I don't know, the whole day we probably caught 7 northern. A couple of them were off camera, especially towards the end. But really fun day. Probably gonna go back out there tomorrow and see if we can get on the same bite. So stay tuned for that video, and we'll show you guys the fish here. Well guys, here was today's damage out on the lake. Spent the whole day out there, caught my limit in about 6 hours. Very fun day. Some decent northern in there too. But awesome day, one of my better days on the ice up at the cabin here for panfish. Past years I really just run tip-ups a lot, and I'm trying to get more into jigging, and it's been fun. Finally starting to venture out and explore some of these new lakes, and it's paying off. So